Hey, Doug Brown here. Let's talk about what happens when you have a client who knows you for one particular thing, one specialty, and you do other stuff too, and they give that work to somebody else because they don't know that you do it. And this shows up in a couple of ways. You might be handling commodity general work for them, and they might have something specialized that they believe is specialized, and they go to a different counsel because they believe that counsel is the better in that area. Or you might be the specialty counsel and you are doing advanced, sophisticated work, and you'd also like to have their bread and butter work at the same time. So the question came up of how do you market to that? And the question came up by a client, and I think the real focus is, let's use the right term for this. This is called cross-selling. This is how you let a existing client know that you do other things and do it in a way that is genuine, is in service to them, and doesn't make it seem like you're desperate or reaching out for their money. And it's a real issue. My personal experience, I was in a peer group with an advertising executive, and we were talking in the peer group for a long time about focus groups and all the advanced work that he did. And then in another part of my business, I needed somebody to help with PR. And I was explaining my relationship with that, and he looked at me afterwards and said, "Well, why didn't you come for me for that?" And I said, "I didn't know you did that. Didn't even think of you." So this happens a lot. So this isn't a marketing question as in terms of marketing for general awareness, because that's what marketing is. This is more of a relationship question. And so here's something you can do in this particular case. And it's not a big thing. It's little stuff that goes in conversation. So imagine you're in a conversation with a client. You're working on a commodity matter. And you're having your conversation. And you know that they have other work to do. And so you find a way to work into the conversation saying, "Hey, John, I know we do great work for this. You really like us in this area, don't you?" It's like, "Yeah, I really do. You're doing a great job." "Well, do you know we also do," and then that other kind of work. He might say yes or no. And then you get into a conversation about how to find out. You're not going to ask for that work. You're going to say, "Well, how do you guys make a decision about who gets that work?" And you want to learn and you want to extend. This doesn't happen in one conversation. What you're trying to do is build awareness with that first person that you do other things. Now, when I work with this happens a lot with intellectual property law, where there's one embedded firm. And one of the ways in is not to say, just fire that firm and give me your work, but it's, give me a try. So that's a way if you're handling commodity work, maybe you get into more specialty work. So there's another scenario that might come up where you're the specialty counsel and they're giving their generic work to somebody else. It's just review a contract. I just need you to review a contract. And in the conversation, they might say, "Well, that's really simple work." Well, as the specialist that the contract might have many other aspects they're not thinking about. So some well-placed questions about, well, have you thought about this? Or in my experience, I've seen some things that happen at our level that could be addressed as part of the generic contract review. Would it be helpful? I took a look at that for you just to see what things we could identify. Now, the idea here is not to do work for free. The idea is to make an investment in the relationship and demonstrate the breadth of your expertise. So those are two ways. Again, it's not a marketing question. It's a relationship question. And just being alert. You have to do the research and know what other things your client has going on so you can ask some well-placed questions. Then over time, you can become known for other things. Now, let me be clear. I've said this a few times. If you try to do your outbound visible marketing to try to be everything to everyone, you will dilute your message. So stay on message and stay on brand. If you're that specialist, I know we're not supposed to use that word as lawyers, but if that's your primary focus area, stay on that. It doesn't mean you can't take other work, especially by referral. So try this one at a time, see what's happening, and you too can have success in cross-selling into other things you may not be marketing for, but that'd be really good work for you. Something adjacent to what you're already doing. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. And if you have a question or a comment, by the way, please leave it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer your questions about cross-selling or identifying clients or any other sales question you have about your practice. Love to have a conversation about that. So Tell me below what's working for you when you try to cross-sell, or what's not working, what could you use help with? Okay, now that's it. Bye for now.